You know me, Daryl Bumpass. You know me, Daryl Bumpass. Listen, I would like to talk to you about how to work smarter. How to work smarter. I believe a lot of us grew up on the tradition of working harder, right? First, let me just say I thank you and I appreciate you for taking time out of your life and your schedule to spend this moment with me. A lot of us grew up on working harder. That's what we was told. Work harder, work harder, work harder. If you want anything in life, you have to work hard. You have to work hard. And that may be true till even in this day. But I believe with technology, it has given us the privilege to really and the opportunity to really work smarter. I think of my ancestors. I think of my parents, my grandparents, my ancestors. I think of them already doing the heavy lifting. Your parents have done the heavy lifting when it came to working harder. Your grandparents have already done the heavy lifting. I think that to them, we should honor them in showing them that their heavy lifting has not gone in vain. What have we learned from their heavy lifting? So let's begin. There's a couple of ways I want to talk to you about how you can start working smarter instead of working harder. As I always say, I was always grinding, and grinding is activity and focus is productivity. Now I understand being able to work smarter, it allows me to become more focused. So I would say, if you have a minute, I would just like to share just a couple of my opinions or my ways in working smarter. You may disagree, you may agree, and that's fine. But again, I thank you for taking time out of your life and schedule to spend this moment with me. So again, let's begin. How to work smarter. How to work smarter. What I believe we should do is create a to-do list. Now your to-do list, it contains all things you shouldn't do and won't waste your time on them. Right? Now let me read this over. Make a to-do list. Your to-do list should contain all things you shouldn't do and the things you won't waste your time on. This allows you to work a lot smarter so that you're not being distracted by things that are non-productive. Right? Write down that to-do list. We have these notes on our phone where we can put it in our phone. I was raised on, if it's not on paper, it doesn't matter. If it's not on paper, it doesn't make sense. So put it on paper. Create your to-do list. Create the things that you shouldn't do and the things you won't do. We already know the things that we will do. But if we're not conscious of the things that we won't do, we'll be doing them subconsciously. And that actually will be hindering our productivity. They will hinder our progress. So one is make a don't do list. I'm sorry, I might have said create a to-do list. This is creating a don't do list. The things that you shouldn't do and the things you won't do. Like allowing someone to interfere with your focus, allowing someone to interfere with your decision making. It's fine to go and get advice from people whose opinions you value, but be careful of getting advice from the sheep. Them sheep can be really sneaky. They got hidden agendas, trust me. That was number one. Make a don't do list. Number two, carry a notebook and a pen. Write down all the ideas you think of doing that day. You can do it on your phone or on your tablet as well. There's no excuse. You have the tools. You can carry a pen and a piece of paper around. That's what I always did. I still do it to this day, to jot down the ideas I may have because I may not be able to get to my phone as quick. Write it down in your phone, as I stated previously. Write it down in your tablet. Carry a notebook and pen and write down all the ideas you think of doing that day. You can write it in your phone, or you can write it on your tablet, or you can write it on a piece of paper. The important part is you write it down. If it's not on paper, it doesn't matter. And when you're writing in paper, when you're pretty much signing a contract with yourself and with the universe. This is what I declare. This is what I declare. Next, how to work smarter. Listen, be able to explain who you are and what you do in 30 seconds. Practice that every day. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, for example, you know me, Bumpass, self-investment speaker, certified life coach, best-selling author. I help people get out of their way. Period. You see that? That might have been less than 30 seconds. See, when you're not sure of who you are, when you're trying to explain it to others, you're stumbling. You're working harder. So how would someone want to invest in you, in your business, when you don't even know who you are? So be able to explain who you are and what you do in 30 seconds. Practice this every day until you have it where it can roll off your tongue. You know me, Bumpass, best-selling author, certified life coach, self-investment speaker. I help people get out of their own way. How to work smart. Next, establish a daily ritual that will help you ease your mind. Establish a daily ritual that will help you ease your mind. For instance, I like to get up in the morning. Before my feet hit the ground, I'm thanking God for allowing me to see another day. Right? I may get up and I may meditate. I may listen to some really good music. I love music. I may get up, go to the gym. Create a space so that your mind is clear, so that you can become more creative, so that you'll be able to work a lot smarter, so that you don't have the distractions where that you're working harder and you're not making any progress. Let's keep it moving. Establish a ritual by ending every workday in the same way to reduce stress. Now, I know people may be saying, well, how are you going to end the workday every day the same way? You don't know what goes on, things that come up. Well, what you can do is, no matter what I always said to myself, no matter what is going on in my life, write this down. And I hope you're writing down the list of how to work smarter also. But write this down. I'll give you a minute. What I always say to myself is, no matter what is going on in my life, I will remain focused. I don't care if I had a good day. I don't care if I had a bad day. I don't care if I had an amazing day. But no matter what is going on in my life, I will remain focused. No matter what is going on in my life, I will not allow it to interfere with my peace of mind and happiness. This is like a checker for me. If I'm going through something or someone may have disappointed me, I usually don't get upset or get angry with people anymore, because I now realize that at times we can set ourselves up to be disappointed because you want to see others the same way you see yourself, and we're all different. So when someone does something, I don't get angry. I become disappointed. See, I believe being angry takes too much energy from you and it becomes personal. But if I'm put it in the category as I was disappointed, I am disappointed in you, I can move on much easier. So what I say to myself at the end of the day, no matter what is going on in my life, I will not allow anything to interfere with my peace of mind and my happiness. No matter what is going on in my life, I will remain focused. I will remain focused. Focus is my first name and my last name is winning. I like that. Do you like that? Let's keep it moving. Next, get used to uncertainty. Bad things can happen. That's the circle of life. Life consists of good things and bad things, good moments and bad moments. Life shows up. Things happen. When you can get that understanding, you'll be able to work a lot smarter because you won't feel as if you've been blindsided by life. When someone calls you, I remember receiving a phone call from my father and telling me that he had cancer the first time. I was able to digest it a lot easier because I was already putting myself in a space for when things show up, when life shows up. I'm not saying it didn't shake my foundation. I'm not saying it didn't change my world, but I was able to accept it a lot easier. And because of that, I was able to go and get help because of what I was going through. Losing my best friend, losing my hero, it allowed me to start working smarter and seek out the therapist that was able to help me become more productive and able to work a lot smarter, seeing things and seeing life much more clearer. Next, how to work smarter. Learn, ask questions, try to improve yourself, learn from the people with more experience, and go to conferences. One learns throughout their life. Learning makes you smarter, and when you are smarter, you accomplish more. So on my journey, in every chapter of my life, I always sought out people that were in the industry that I wanted to be in. There were times that I would go and sit down with some people. I'll mention, there was one guy that I sat down with. Well, you know what? Let me say thank you to Mr. George Biederman. I went to the SBA. They would give you free advice from executives, CEOs, Fortune 500s, small businesses. They would give you advice for the field that you were in. This is free. This is free. You will go there, and they may still do it. You can go there and just tell them the business that you're thinking about doing, and they can help you with your decisions. So to Mr. Biederman, I thank you for taking time out of your life to spend time with me, to invest in me. and giving me the information that I needed to get to where I am today. To Mercedes Gonzalez, to be able to sit down in her office at Global Purchasing Company, and she's giving me advice on how to start the clothing company, how to be successful at it. To Mr. Paul Anthony Rivers, when he wrote his book, and I looked at him, I said, if he can do it, I can do it. And he sat me down and he just discussed with me about how to self-publish, how to format, how to edit, how to have my books distribution. To Damon John, one of the best things he could have said to me, is I'll see you at the top. I'll see you at the top. These are people that I sought out, that I went to and got advice from. To Ozzie Smalls, when I was doing the fashion industry, I was doing my clothing company, and I would go down to his office at 512 7th Avenue. And in this building, you had so many different name brands. You had Fat Farm, you had Baby Fat, you had E=MC², you had Iceberg, you had every company that you can think of was in this building. I would go to his office several times, and I would sit in his office, and I would be a fly on the wall, and I would absorb everything that the information that he was giving me. And I would listen and observe. Thank you to Dr. Ona Brown. Thank you to Mr. Les Brown. These are people that I would go to people out. It's funny that people don't realize that most successful people want to share the information that they have. Sometimes we get in our own way and we don't want to go and ask them that one question that may move us forward. I only have a few more, and I'm going to let you go. Like I said before, I know you're a busy person, but I thank you for spending time with me. This is important, because most people think that success is everyday roses. And I want you to understand that failing is okay. Not failing is impossible. Failing is okay. You learn from your failures. You learn from your mistakes. These aren't setbacks. These are setups for greater things to happen for you and to you. Not failing is impossible. Failing will make you stronger. And it will show you what not to do next time and how to do it better. But you have to pay attention. Next, treat your calendar with respect. Don't schedule things you don't want to do, and make sure you do all the things that you said you would do. Right? Be honest with yourself. If you put it on your calendar, do it. If you put it on your calendar, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't put it on your calendar. If something occurs out of your control, we all understand that. But if you put it on the calendar and you have no intention on doing it, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time, and don't waste the other person's time by scheduling something, scheduling a meeting, scheduling a photo shoot, scheduling whatever it is. Don't waste your time, don't waste their times. What I've always been taught is there's two things you can never put back. That's time and money. So if you have no intentions on doing it, don't schedule it. Because you can never get that, they can never get that time back, you can never get that time back. And the other rule is, if you're going to make the appointment, show up early. Because if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. Next, don't be paranoid. I like this one. I like this. I remember when there were times when I was coming up with ideas throughout my various businesses, and I always said to myself, I don't want to tell anybody because yeah, they might find out. Somebody might find out. I don't want to tell anybody. So stop being paranoid. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. If it's a patent, if it's a trademark or something like that, do what they call a poor man's patent. Mail it to yourself, right? Mail it to yourself. If you're that paranoid about an idea, just write it down, or put the design or whether it may be in an envelope, and write the address, your address, self-addressed envelope, and mail it to yourself. This is your proof of concept. This is proof of your idea, proof of your design. This is what we call a poor man patent. Patent. P-A-T-E-N-T. So don't be so paranoid. It's your idea. The important part is first to market. Two people can have the same idea. Who's going to get it first to market? That's how you work smarter. By putting it in the market, getting it in the market first. So don't be paranoid. How to work smarter. Respond to all calls, messages, and emails in a timely manner. People don't like to wait, and neither do you. So that goes back to respecting people's time. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I try to answer as many calls as possible, and I definitely return all of my calls and my emails. To a point where I remember someone questioned me. They said, well, how you doing so much and you every time I call, you answer? Why would that be a complaint? Why would that be a problem? The answer is that I've figured out time management, how to manage my time. And I got that from a friend, Mr. Warren Pate. And he used to play golf. We played golf together, and I realized that he was a great course management. He did course management where instead of worrying about the front nine or the back nine, instead of worrying about the second hole, he managed the first hole. Instead of putting all these other different distractions in front of him, he was able to manage that whole course. And I was amazed at it. And in doing so, he became a really great golfer. So good that I believe he should have turned pro, but he did not. So respect people's time. If they took the time out to reach out to you, take the time out to reach back out to them. If they're appreciating your messages, if they're appreciating your intellectual property, it only takes a minute to say thank you. I appreciate you. Next, choose one day of the week when you don't work. Now I know there's a lot of people going to say, what? What do you mean when you don't work? Yeah. See, when you are able to understand that time management, you realize that you're just grinding and you're not focused. Just because you work 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, doesn't mean you're winning. It just means that you're busy. I would work overtime. I would say yes to overtime every time they had it. But it didn't mean I was making progress. It just meant I was being busy. And it just meant that I was spending more of my time at the 9 to 5 instead of being creative elsewhere. So figure out your schedule. Figure out your life. Take inventory of your life. Take inventory of your bills and say to yourself, do I really need to work 7 days a week, 5 days a week? Maybe they offering 4 days on, 3 days off. They're giving you an opportunity. Come here 4 days, 10 hours a day, and you got 3 days off. 3 days to be creative. 3 days to change the narrative of your family. 3 days to work smarter and not harder. And to the last, take breaks. You can't do everything at once. Several breaks. Take several breaks, and this will improve your productivity. Yeah. You can find this in my book, We Need to Talk. We Need to Talk. Stop interfering. Available on Amazon, iTunes, in your local bookstores, Barnes and Nobles. So I just wanted to say this to you because I see so many of us spending so much time at working harder. Working harder. And I just want to emphasize that our ancestors they already did the heavy lifting. They have already done the heavy lifting for you. Best way you can pay homage to them is learn how to work smarter. You know me, Bumpass. I hope my words have been able to assist you along your journey. I wish you well. I wish you well. I heard this from Frankie Beverly and Mays. I wish you well, and I hope you find your truth. Peace.